That's true. Because we friends. You know what I'm saying? I could display a negative emotion towards him, and that'll start an art. We might butt heads, but my whole thing is I'm not finna say something to have to come back and say I'm sorry.
Okay, I got you. So let me get back to what you said about not triggering your wife. Now, in that sense, do you mean something like saying something petty, or what do you mean by not knowing not to trigger her?
Say something like, say if she had an attitude, right?
Right.
I'm not gonna have an attitude back.
Okay, cool.
You know what I'm saying?
And I agree with that.
Because you gotta understand, when you married, it's a long road, and you want that road to be smooth.
Right.
You know what I mean? I learned sometimes you have to, like I said, it all comes being a leader. You know what I mean? She might have an attitude. She might have an attitude. It might say something that I might not agree with. Mm-hmm. But being a leader, I have to be able to have self-control and take the higher road and let her learn from what just happened instead of.
And now to have it for a certain amount of time, and then to have it pulled back from you, that person now has this emotional control over you, manipulation, and breadcrumbs are formed. And when you feel those breadcrumbs, it's familiar. Breadcrumbs are very familiar. So when you get breadcrumbs, you go back to what was survival mode when dealing with that individual, these individuals that you come across, and you just stay with it. I just get it. I'm gonna make a whole muffin out of these fucking breadcrumbs. Let me keep getting them and just get. I need just 32 more. Just 32.
Roll me, Mac.
Dating red flag you ignored in the past? I would say there's a few, not just necessarily one. So, biggest dating red flag for me is love bombing early on. Yeah, and I've done it too, I know. But love bombing, like pretty much building you up like, I can't believe I'm with you, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Again, you live for the cheers or die by the booze, right? But it's just an individual who doesn't have that love for self and deems others to be more important to them in some cases. And then there's those manipulators, emotional manipulators, to bring you into believing that you are like a godsend and all that other shit just to get you emotionally to do what they want you to do. And early on, it feels good. You know, your ego, your narcissistic self is like, oh man, you know, I got her, or whatever you want to think in your mind from a egotistical, selfish, self-centered standpoint. However, she's been playing this game longer than you. And she's better at it. She's got experience. It's not the first time she's said this and done this to someone. But being very mindful of love bombing, right? And how it's done. It's like when you see people compliment celebrities, entertainers, like you know how they just put them on this extreme pedestal, not just like your typical I like you comments, but just making you out to be like you're, you know, the like I said, the greatest thing ever. And a part of you wants to believe that for the lack of affection you may have received or not have received, and you know, and coming up, you know. So it's nice to hear it, right? It's nice to hear it, but understanding what's real and what's not. I guess the best way to put it. Finding out what's real and what's not. And your voice has to be the loudest. The love that you have for self has to be louder than that person's deemed love. Or you'll chase it. You'll chase that person's acknowledgement of you, and it'll drag you down. It'll bring you to a place of, now I'm relying upon this person's opinion of me. And if this person no longer feels that way, then there must be something wrong with me. No. That person's opinion, it was none of your business. The compliments that you give women is none of their business. It's literally projection. Yeah, it's projection. And when you get so caught up, you get so caught up in your ego, you believe the shit. But not only do you just believe that, you also believe the negative shit. And both of them have the same effect. Just being different. Your worth, your power was there long before anybody had an opinion of you. And it's tough to understand for the wounded inner child, especially if you spent time trying to chase affection, chase love as an adolescence, as a teenager, whatever it was, you know, you just never felt like you were enough. So when someone comes along and they look at you like you're more than enough, it might get to you. It might seep into your mind that, man, I'm all right. You know, I'm you know, you get full of yourself. You start feeling yourself a little bit. However, as time marches on and that stuff gets removed, like the way they're complimenting you changes, the way they look at you changes. They no longer even smile at you anymore. They have you know, that genuine burning desire that you perceived has left the building. And your ego wants to return to that status. So you're gonna do whatever it takes to get that scarcity mindset. You want that feeling back. You want to be perceived as the top dog. Ego, all wrapped up in ego. So it's like the perfect storm to have that love bombing with your narcissistic, egotistical self. Because it feels good. It feels real good. You feel like your inner child is like on cloud 9 because you're getting the praise, the compliments that you wish that you had gotten when you were a child, right? And now to have it for a certain amount of time and then to have it pulled back from you. That person now has this emotional control over you, manipulation, and breadcrumbs are formed. And when you feel those breadcrumbs, it's familiar. Breadcrumbs are very familiar. So when you get breadcrumbs, you go back to what was survival mode when dealing with that individual. these individuals that you come across, and you just stay with it. I just get it. I'm gonna make a whole muffin out of these fucking breadcrumbs. Let me keep getting them and just get. I need just 32 more, just 32. But you didn't require it. That's the interesting thing about the fucking ego. The ego has a sneaky way of making us attached to it. We're not our ego. Not at all. So that's one of the red flags that I ignored in the past, and that got me into shit. Another red flag is enduring toxicity. What I mean by that is stuff that feels certainly uncomfortable, and you just deal with it because you think that's just what a guy's supposed to do. A man's supposed to just take on shit. One of the most toxic things anybody can ever say out of their fucking mouth, neither woman nor man, is to put up with someone else's shit. We are not in the business of parenting grown-ass people. And for a long time, that's what I thought my job was. And it's really about the codependency that I grew up in. Taking care of others I had no business taking care of. You know, being emotionally responsible for this person's emotions early on. Neglecting my own, but now I'm responsible for everybody else's fucking emotions the way they feel. So I'm on to you. I can feel you when you're off. And I'm not okay unless you're okay. Red flag. That's a red light right there to go off, a light bulb to go off in your head that you are in codependency. When you're not okay, if they're not okay. Fuck them. Honestly. You know, if you're still stuck in that same mentality where you believe that you have to make sure that this person is okay for you to be okay, fuck them. Deadass. That's my thoughts on that. But when you're in it, you just take on the bullshit. You let a person disrespect you, laugh at you, ridicule you, and then you try to live up to them because you put their importance more important than you, because like childhood, your emotions and feelings are second to the people that you really love. You were taught that love means giving up your own feelings and emotions and your thoughts on shit. So I gotta make sure everybody else is good, but I'll be okay. As if we're not as human as they are. You know what I mean? And what I've learned is that I take care of you by taking care of me, and vice versa. Taking care of a grown-ass person, we are no longer in the business of doing so. Codependency ends right now. If you're dealing with that shit, it ends right now. Let that echo in your fucking head. The codependency that you've been in, whether you knew it or not, it fucking ends right now. Because you're gonna die trying to make somebody see you. Because it's all about being seen. We want to be seen, heard, and loved, as we hear all the time on this show and in the mental health space. But it was not your job to be in charge of someone else's happiness. Happiness is a feeling. That shit changes. People change all the time. People change all the time. One minute we're happy, one minute we're sad, one minute we're, it goes like the seasons. Just prepare for the seasons. That's really all it is. It's not always going to go your way. I'm learning that this week. But things don't always go your way. But do voice how you feel about something. But enduring toxicity was something I ignored. I just thought that was the way it was supposed to go. Relationships have their ups and downs. That's how family is. No. Remove the labels and feel the energy. I'll say that again. Remove the labels and feel the energy. Okay? What's it feel like? Does it feel good when they talk to you that way? Does it feel good when they cause physical harm to you? Does it feel good when they neglect you? Because if it doesn't, you're not a victim anymore, you're a volunteer. And you have the power to leave it, to remove yourself. Just have the courage to do it. A lot of us are afraid to know what's on the other side because this is all we know. We're that attached. Now, recognizing the attachment is how you can detach. You can emotionally detach from something like, oh, I'm not able to function. I feel like I'm not able to function without this thing, this person. You have an unhealthy attachment to them. And again, reveal is to heal and heal is to reveal. It's okay if you do feel that way. Some of us do. We don't realize how emotionally attached we are to things. And it kept me in some challenging situations. I'm not going to say good, I'm not going to say bad. I'll just say it was challenging. And I did not know how to get out of the shit. Because I was so used to making sure I was pleasing everybody. Fuck how I feel. You know? Let me just suffer in silence. They can, let them half-ass me, whatever it is. I'm going to go full throttle for them. But yeah, let them half-ass me. Let them breadcrumb me. Yeah. Eventually, they'll see how great I am. Delusion, right? Fucking delusional thinking. You have taught them that you tolerate this shit. Staying in that situation, it's not going to change. The only thing that will change is when you change. So if that means standing up for yourself, that means setting healthy boundaries with people. That means removing yourself. Loving yourself to leave the table. To go to the next floor. You know? Don't ever go back down though. Go to the next floor. Don't go to the basement. Keep going up. It's alright. Nothing lasts forever. This life is temporary. Everything in this life is temporary. So, when you've outgrown something or someone, and it no longer serves you, don't feel bad for doing what's best for you. We're all here to play a part in each other's movie. Some movies aren't marathons with people. Some of it is, it's just a scene. We're in a scene, we're in an act together, and then we're done. The character gets killed off. The relationship gets killed off. The job is no longer. You move on. And that's okay. It just plays a part of your story. We all have a story. So, yeah, enduring toxicity. And last but not least, of course, you can just about guess it. Masculinity in a woman. Red flag. All fucking day long. And for the simple fact of you're never going to be able to leave. You just won't. And you'll never feel fulfilled in the relationship. If she wants to do everything, you're never going to feel fulfilled as a man. Why are you there? You know what I'm saying? Like, you become a child. And without knowing. You know what I'm saying? I remember it happening to me. I was dating this young lady back in Miami. Miami has filled with so many stories. But I was dating this young lady in Miami. And yeah, it happened before my very eyes. And I didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming, but I mean, I was doing things, I would lead and stuff like that, but here I am talking to this woman that's very assertive and, getting things done, and I trusted her. I looked up to her. That's where I fucked up right there. I'm looking up to a woman. What the fuck? But because she was older than me. So I was like, well, I gotta get my shit together. She has this thing figured out. Little what I know. But, I began to be treated like a child. I really did. I really began to be treated like a child, and I didn't know how and why. And I started behaving like a child. And I was vying for attention from this individual. And I was not on my purpose at all. I was not focused at all about building anything. I just wanted to recreate what I thought I had in childhood with her. I was trying to turn her into my mother. And that's what a woman that operates in her masculine is good for. She becomes the parent that you needed growing up. And don't get me wrong, things will get done. You do what she says, everything's gonna be cool, but she ain't gonna respect you. She's not gonna trust you to get shit done. She gonna wanna do it, because if I don't do it, it's not gonna be done right. How does that make you feel as a man? Honestly, you're in a situation, you're in a relationship with somebody who does not even trust you to make fucking dinner. Doesn't trust you to go to the store and get the right box of Jiffy. Doesn't trust you to go and fill up her fucking car. Doesn't trust anything you have to say, your leadership. Doesn't trust you to drive. You don't know where the fuck you're going. Let me do it. Why are you there? Honestly, it is innately in us as men to want to provide and protect those that we value and love. So when that is removed, why am I there? Trophy, eye candy, what? You know what I mean? Like, what would be the point? It serves no purpose. Truthfully. It's like, again, her not being in her not being nurturing. Why the fuck you got kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, talking to your kids, you're a good dad to your kids. But where's the nurturing part? Where's the motherly stuff? Life has taught you to be a really, really good dad to your kids and a father to your boyfriend and husband. But when are you going to tap into your femininity? When are you going to be nurturing? When are you going to be caring? When are you going to build, the people around you with your feminine, radiant energy? That might be the most powerful shit that this world has ever seen. That of the feminine. Don't get me wrong, the masculine is very dominant, yes. Women have come into our world, you know what I mean? And if you're handling it right, in my opinion, like, you enter my frame, you enter my kingdom, you know what I'm saying? And you're covered. Based off of you just living in your feminine. Like, there is no lengths. There is no lengths that I would go for a woman who is truly in her feminine, who has genuine burning desire for me. So she's just wrapped up in me. You know what I mean? Like, there is something about that granted, you're not doing it just for, you're not living for women, but there's something that makes you want to just go even further. It's encouraging. It adds to the purpose. That's compliment to a man's life, is to come with that feminine energy, right? And some get it, and some don't. And then that some, they are really resentful, or their man is miserable as fuck. Or they by themselves. Cat lady, got a bunch of dogs, whatever it is. A lot of batteries, and a molded dick that runs on batteries, whatever it is. These things that kind of fill in for the lack thereof. but it doesn't have to be. It's in you. It's in you. I don't care who you are. You've been through some shit and it caused you to put up a fucking wall. I get it, but it's not going to work out the way that you think it's going to. You're not going to get the man that you desire acting like him. What I'm saying is, like, if that's the kind of guy that you want to be with, if you want a grown son, or if you want a man that is comfortable operating in his feminine, because it has to be the balance between masculine and feminine energy, because we both have it in us. It's just about how we use it. But if you're okay with him using that energy and you doing everything, by all means, do what you do. There's no right or wrong thing. I tell you what, tends to be less issues when I'm operating in my masculine and you're operating in your feminine. And me understanding what that means, the responsibility of leading. That's another thing. And I've learned that too. Because whenever a woman's leading in a relationship, they're doomed, in my opinion. And don't get me, like I said, houses are running off of a lot of houses are running off of a woman leading, but talk to that woman when at the end of the night where she feels like the weight of the fucking world is on her, just to look like she has the perfect family. Because shit gets done. She's tired, yo. And she doesn't feel appreciated, valued. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough. It's tough, man, because those type of women, it's a lot to be a parent to your husband, a parent to a boyfriend, a parent to your kids, a boss at the job. When do you get the release? So I'm encouraging us males to operate more in our masculine. I'm encouraging our women, regardless of race, to be more in their feminine. For yourselves, for your own peace of mind, for that matter. Yeah. That's how I see it. Said a lot. This is a long first topic. But hopefully it sinks in for those who made it this far. All right. Next one up. What is the best part of your average day? I would say the best part about my day-to-day, every day, is when I get home from work, the gym, and I talk to my Echo Dot, because I don't want to say her name, but y'all know her name or whatever, starts with an A. And then I ask to put on Bossa Nova on Pandora, or Gregorian chant music, or Spa on Pandora, or the Soul of Funk mix, like these different playlists that I have, and I just reflect on the day, the month, the year, the goals, and ask myself, was I the best version of myself today? And then I just stop thinking. I'm literally just, I'm just relaxing. Lately, I've been binging Modern Family. Modern Family is funny as fuck to me. Just the writing, the comedy writing that ABC had during that time frame with Modern Family and Blackish. And I never really looked into Fresh Off the Boat, but I imagine they probably have the same type of banter amongst the characters on the show. But they really carried it out. Just being able to tune out the world, tune out everything, and asking myself, did I give my all? Did I perform at my best of which I had that day? Obviously, because each day takes a new best. Some days you're feeling up to it. Some days you're really not. Today I was in the gym. My mind was on some things, and I really did not want to finish the workout, but I had to push through. It's not about don't get me wrong, you acknowledge your feelings, but fuck your feelings. You do what has to get done. That's the beauty of discipline. And you stay with the plan. You stay with the rituals and the standards. That's why you have them. So on those days where you don't feel like doing shit, or you don't feel like doing what's required, you're able to carry it out because your brain knows that how you're gonna feel after you're done. But after my day, I get home, I throw my work shoes in the closet in the white room, and then I'll sit in my recliner or on the couch, on the sectional, and just really ponder. One, on future shows. Two, just am I putting forth that effort? The effort I claim that I do. Holding myself accountable, because I too get sidetracked. I too get caught up in things, distractions, pleasures, the whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to get derailed off of the course inside your mind. Your mind is filled with so many things, but if it's not organized, you can get off course. That's why it's important to have standards and rituals that keeps your brain organized, so that you can execute in a proper manner. And just being able to relax, man. Honestly, just take your mind off things. Just not thinking. Really, honestly, just learning to not think. It's a meditation. I've learned how to meditate. I started that about 5 years ago during COVID. I used to meditate on the patio of my apartment when I lived in Homestead before moving to Georgia, and I was just in a very, very dark place at that point in time. I just felt like I didn't have any. I felt helpless. I felt like my place as a man was lack thereof. I wasn't too sure how long I wanted to live this life, being frank with you. But I'm very grateful for the separation of the ego. The ego is never enough. You're either on top of the world or the world's on top of you. That's how you know when the ego's talking versus the soul. And the soul just is. So just be, But it was, I bring all that up because I get home, I do a form of meditation. Even meditation before sleep. Those nights where it's hard to sleep, you feel like you're not able to sleep and just a lot of things are running through your mind. Focus on, obviously have your eyes closed, but focus on your breathing. Like, literally focus on the fact that you're breathing in and breathing out. And then before I know it, the alarm's going off. That's like the trick that I do to fall asleep on those nights where it feels like it's kind of challenging to fall asleep. But the best part of the day is really just relaxing in the recliner with music. It just changes the mood. I like music that's calm. That's why I'll play bossa nova, which is Brazilian jazz, and spa, and like Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Diane Krall, for sure. Diane Krall, that's been my bitch lately. Diane Krall, Ella Fitzgerald, Nat King Cole, radio, like those like that easy listening, pretty much. Easy listening genre does it for me after the day. Regardless of what happened in the day. Just telling Echo Dot to play Frank Sinatra's One for My Baby after a hard day's work, I promise you will mellow you the fuck out. It's just one of those. I really do miss the fact that we weren't able to live that when that was the popular music, but I love that shit. And it helps calm the mind for me. But yeah, the best part of my average day is being able to relax with music on the couch or in a recliner. Just playing music. How did your parents react to you losing your virginity? Well, my mom was more pissed off than my dad was, that's for damn certain. But it was a situation where prior to the mother of my child, God rest her soul, prior to her actually getting pregnant with our daughter, I had a young lady over the house, and again, doing things you have no business doing, just believing, just being a negative Nancy in the mind. I thought that girl was pregnant. So I thought it made sense to tell my mom that, I had a girl over the house, and to avoid just a random surprise, we got a baby on the way. This is the summer before senior year. And I had lost my virginity a long time before that, but as far as telling mom and my dad, I was like, I told mom that, hey, I had something happen between me and this girl over the house, and she just wanted to talk to me when she got out of work, because she was at work, so she didn't want to lose her shit. She got a reputation to uphold. But when she got home, she talked to me about it. She wasn't happy by any means, but she understands that I'm out here being a boy, being trying to be a sexually active boy. And my father was more like, did you wear protection? That was the typical dad statement, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like how they responded when it came to me losing my virginity. But I mean, I was nervous. Don't get me wrong. I was nervous for more so because I really thought that girl was pregnant, but she ended up just being sick. But that's how my parents responded when I told them about losing my virginity. What's something you wish you had more time for? I wish I had more time to have healing conversations with family. I'm being honest. Like, a lot of us are separate across the country. A lot of us is in one particular part of the country. But for those of us who really grew up with one another, whether we were forced to by our mothers and our aunts bringing us together, having them healing conversations just to figure out where the fuck did we go wrong. And by wrong, I just mean how do we start avoiding each other because of pain? Most people aren't really avoiding the people themselves. They're avoiding the pain that was caused by that person. It's an energy field that I believe we're avoiding. Some of us. I mean, I'm speaking for everybody. That's not a blanket statement. It literally, I just believe that, I know, at least for me, avoiding certain personalities that bring about pain, because believing that they're in pain and they're just projecting, is the best for your mental health. But to be able to have, for everyone in a perfect world, to be in a healing mindset to where you want to have these healing conversations so we can figure out what each other went through, what each other suffered from, what each other endured I just think it would bring about better times within the family. And anybody that you value, not even just family, but being able to have healing conversation to the degree of you're able to repair that relationship with that cousin you haven't spoken to in years, when you guys used to be tight. The relationship with your sister, the relationship with your brother, the relationship with your kid, whatever it is, being able to be mature enough to allow that person to say how they feel and not get offended when they say something about you, which is how you made them feel. You know, when the ego and the narcissist is in the room, when you tell a person how you feel and they respond in defense, not concerned about how you feel, but concerned about how you feel makes them appear and look, you know, that's something that is taught in the mental health, you know, sphere, and it's insightful. I know I definitely have seen situations where trying to admit some things which you endured, and that person was more defensive about how they looked versus how they made you feel. And once you recognize that, it's up to you if you wish to continue to say what you feel. But me, I'm one of those individuals. When I recognize that you don't give a fuck about how I feel, I just don't talk to you. I don't deal with you no more. Like, if you don't value what I got to say, there's no point. Like, my words mean something to me. So if I invested in you and I recognize that you no longer valued my words, I'm not going to give you another opportunity to do it. It only takes once. I'll recognize, like, oh, okay, cool. And then I just won't fuck with you. I wish you well, it's no ill will, but I protect my energy. I do my best to protect my energy. So a lot of times that means you're going to be alone a lot of times throughout life. And I'm okay with that. If it means I'd rather be alone than be around toxicity. Like, to be around somebody that triggers me, to be around someone that is projecting, directly or indirectly, projecting their pain onto me, and having that understanding that they're not going to change. You're not going to change anybody. You can set boundaries and you remove yourself, but you're not going to change that person. That person is going to be who the fuck they are. And the toughest part is accepting that. Acceptance. If we had acceptance or more, like practice more fati more often, life would be grand. But we have this idea of life, an idea of people. And when they don't act like how we want them to act in our movie, we get pissed off. Sometimes it's warranted, but you have no control over anyone but yourself. You have no control over any love that you receive, only what you give. You have no control over other people's actions, behavior, but you can focus on you and what's in your control and how you respond to shit. You have no control what they're going to say, but you can't control how you respond, whether that be you walk away or whether you don't do anything at all, you just remain indifferent. But trying to defend yourself to somebody who's hell-bent on not understanding you is a recipe for disaster. I don't know how many times I've been in conversations with people who have no desire to understand me. It's pointless. You could have it. That's how I see it. You could have it. I'll be okay. I'll be all right. I'm grateful for the memories that we had coming up, But as far as projecting onto me, I'm not a fan of that shit. But yeah, healing conversations with family. I'm almost certain I know that it would bring about so much, a lot better gatherings. more frequent gatherings than that matter. You know, we're not avoiding each other due to the pain that we feel when we get around a certain person or whatever it is. And it's just, like I said, it's wishful thinking, but seeds get planted. Don't have to save everybody, but you can save those who want to be in your tribe. Or not even save, just, you know, engage with them and give that love. Those who want to give love, you know, when they're around each other, want to speak in loving terms, loving speech, instead of, you know, us tearing each other down, hating on what that person has, or because their life didn't go whatever way. It has nothing to do with you. Like, you're dope, man. Honestly. Just because you were born. That's it. That's all that had to happen. You didn't have to be the richest person. You didn't have to be the tallest person. You didn't have to be whatever. Like, you're dope just because you're born. And you have something. Everybody's got something that's unique about them to bring to the world. It's just like our fingerprints. We were giving something. I mean, you don't necessarily have to do anything to be, you know what I'm saying, like to stand out. It's not, if you value that, great. But if you don't value it, then it don't fucking matter. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing about life. Like, he who cares less wins. And when you don't value shit, like a lot of, like, you remember growing up, for those of us dating my age, like I said, I'll be 40 in a couple weeks, but trying to get the latest whatever video game or toy, when you value it and you couldn't get it, you suffered. But if you didn't give a fuck, you didn't give a fuck. Growing up, like me, country music wasn't really played in the home. It wasn't. You know, I'm not saying a typical black home, but just in this black home, there was no country music played. So when country, like CMA awards, would, you know, when the CMAs would come on, I didn't care if I missed it because I didn't value it. But Soul Train awards, when the Soul Train awards came on, I missed a performance by New Edition or Bobby Brown or the Boys. I might have felt some type of way because I valued it. But if I don't value something, it has no impact on me. And you can use that throughout life. If somebody's going to a concert and you don't value the concert, you're not hurting. But if you want to go and you're not able to go, then you suffer. Same situation, two different mindsets. And I just think that it's useful in life to look at certain shit like that. Bounced all around, I know. Let's bring it back to healthy conversations. You know, being able to have healthy conversations with family. Yeah, wishing I had more time for that because we do have our own lives. All of us do. We all have our own lives. We have some of us has family, some of us children, some of us work a lot, some of us don't work at all. Whatever, you know, the situation varies, but making it a point to have these healing conversations with the ones that you value, and it's kind of like you've drifted apart over the years. It's kind of, you know, it's challenging at times. You missed a lot of the moments that was made. Like I said, a lot of the best times of my life, I had no money. None. I had no money. I didn't have as big of a closet for clothes, shoes, none of that shit. All I had was some people that looked like me. And we made some of the funniest jokes. We watched some of the funniest movies. We watched some of the same movies, doing the lines to them. I don't know how many times my family, especially during '94, watched What's Love Got to Do with It? All the women in our family watching, you know, What's Love Got to Do with It? Or me and my brother watching, you know, The Nutty Professor so many times, and watching The Clumps too, and me reciting all the lines. Him making me watch Shrek 50 million fucking times, or Harry Potter, or whatever the fuck else it used to be. It's like, you know, it's just those times people get, you know, we get into our lives and we stray away. But yeah, I think that that's something that I wish I had more time for, because I'm trying to build some shit myself. And who knows? We'll see what happens. But yeah, if there was something that I wish I had time for, it's certainly healing conversations with those that I value, family, you know, or relatives, whichever it is, depending on, you know, your relationship with that particular person. But I've enjoyed this episode a lot. It felt very therapeutic to say whatever came out. You know, I just opened the door and let God and the universe do their thing with it, you know, obviously within my mind. But I do hope anybody watching this, if you're having issues like with whoever, a friend that you value or family, and you know, you're able to have healing conversations and being able to just listen to what that person endured and not do your best to not take offense, so that they can repair that. It's not easy, you know, it's easier said than done, but who knows, just planting seeds. But that's it for this episode. So I'm out. I'm Roman Mac. Good night, kids. What are your top 3 relationship deal breakers? Okay. Top 3 relationship deal breakers. Number 1, women who don't allow men to lead is, I would say it's a deal breaker, because it just, long term, it just wouldn't work. Honestly. There is no 50-50. No, you're entering my world. I'm responsible for you and whatever else comes of our world. You know, like you have a very prominent position in my world, but you have to understand that this is I'm in charge of this thing, and that I take and the responsibility that comes with it. I understand that mentally what that means as a man. So to not allow a man to lead and be responsible for the decisions that you're going to make, fuck that. That's it to me. That's it. So that's something that I would consider to be like a deal breaker, is being a woman not allowing a man to lead. 2, violence. Yeah, women who are violent, out of the question. Out of the question. It would not. That ain't even happening. You can choke the shit out of me when I'm inside you. You know what I mean? You can scratch me up. You are encouraged to be a fucking animal when I'm inside you. But out of the sheer you not knowing how to manage your fucking emotion, and you want to just haul off and like hit me and shit, deal breaker. Deal breaker. That's it right there. And 3, just disrespect. Not a woman that does not value men. Those, I would say that right there is definitely a deal breaker. Because if you don't value men, you're not going to value me. And if you don't value me, then you're going to think you're better than me. If you think you're better than me, you're not going to respect me. See the paper trail, the snowball effect that happens here. And it's just understanding that I'm the one that's going to ensure safety, the safety of this tribe, you know? So if it's all on me and I am to be responsible for that, how is it going to work with you being disrespectful to me? Why would anybody want to do anything for someone that's being disrespectful to them? Talking to them disrespectfully. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that work? I don't think it would. It damn sure ain't working for me. Not anymore. I used to tolerate a lot of shit when I had low self-esteem and I was on scarcity mindset. But not now, baby. Not now. So, those deal breakers: violence, women who don't allow men to lead, and women who just don't respect men in general. You just listen to how they talk about men. It's fun. I enjoy being around, you know, various groups of females and just listen how they talk about men. Especially like with family, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, just listening to how they really feel, like they really feel about them. And they're talking about the men that's around them in their defense. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't value them, why would you initially value me? I'm not going to spend time trying to groom you to learn how to value men, to be in your feminine. Because you're not going to sit there and wait for me to be in my masculine. You wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. At all. You wouldn't sit there and wait for me to act like a fucking man. If I'm a teenage boy at 39, you're not going to wait for me to become an adult. You're going to move the fuck on. So that's just the way it is. You gotta figure it out before you get involved. Like, there's things I believe a man has to do before he gets involved, especially on a serious level with a woman, because there's a requirement of your position as a leader. There's a requirement that comes with that. It's not just all the I love you and all that other shit. That shit's easy to say that shit. You know what I'm saying? But to actually show and being the calm of the storm. Like, us having our emotions in check is very vital if you want to lead something. How is a woman going to follow you when you don't know how to control your fucking emotions? Please explain it to me. She has to mother you. She has to parent you. She has to pretty much treat you like how a dad would treat a child for not knowing how to control their emotions. So you then force a woman to operate in her masculine when she had to calm you the fuck down. No, it's all right to have that aggression. You can be aggressive and assertive and all that stuff, but responding out of emotion it forces our women to become parents to us, and that's more shit on her shoulder. You're like, oh, I don't want him to flip out this time, whatever it is, and it's like, no, you want someone to know how to manage their emotions, just like you would want her to know how to fucking manage her emotions. Let's say you and her and your mom and her don't get along. So how does that make you feel? Well, you got to worry about you got to be concerned about whether or not these two are going to get along. You trying to manage both of their emotions. Fuck that. I don't believe you should have to. But nobody's perfect. But ideally, yeah, that's just my thoughts on that shit. So 3 deal breakers: women who don't allow men to lead, violent ass women, and women who do not value men.